All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachai, Kodash. Double honors to Apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to your elect, which you ought to be. Now, it's your brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick little lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Puerto Ricans, and confusion of faith and bloodline. Go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are Israelites, whose spirit bear witness that they are child of the Heavenly Father. And the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls Jehovah God. And the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ, or Jesus Christos, or Yeshua, Yeshaya, Yahweh. And last Saturday at camp, it was there's an Israelite woman. She came up, and pretty much she didn't understand what how heart was being used in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get right into it. This is function of the heart. It says the human heart is an organ that pumps blood throughout the body via the circulatory system, supplying oxygen and nutrients to the tissues and removing carbon dioxide and other waste. You know what I'm saying? So here's the purpose of the heart. This is the heart in your chest. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that not only her, but at the same time, when I was in the world, every time I'll say that I know something about heart, I always refer to the heart, meaning my heart in my chest. You know what I'm saying? When really in actual reality, it wasn't that at all. It was my mind. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. It says, I will give you pastures according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. You know what I'm saying? So when you go into that word heart, it's the it's H3828. It's H3820, and it's the La and the Ba, which is La. It says inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding, inner part, mist, heart of man, soul, heart of man, mind, knowledge, thinking, reflection, memory, inclination, resolution, determination of will, conscience, heart of moral character. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that when it comes down to this, your heart cannot think. You know what I'm saying? Here's the definition of what this muscle does. It pumps blood. You know what I'm saying? Your heart does not think. This is not where your conscience dwell. You know what I'm saying? Your conscience dwell in your mind, So the Lord said that he'll give the Israelites pastors according to his heart. You know what I'm saying? When you go into that word pastors, it's Ra'ai. It says to pastor, tend, graze, feed, ruler, teacher. You know what I'm saying? Shepherd, herdsman. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that the Lord is going to set up men of the Lord who's going to break down the scriptures, and they're going to be about doing their father's business, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, after his heart, meaning what he created and how everything should go. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 17. It says, for the flesh lusts against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would, And pretty much the spirit is gonna want to do things according to the Lord's heart. You know what I'm saying? Following his ways, being an Israelite, and then when it comes down to the flesh is going to want to do things contrary against the spirit, and there's different thoughts that come with it, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the spirit, you want to read the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Meditate upon the scriptures, apply the scriptures to your life. You know what I'm saying? Examine yourself for how you could do better. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of bad habits that would pull you away from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? How to be in balance, and how better you could be in balance. When the flesh wants to commit adultery, you know what I'm saying? Putting thoughts in your head where it's like, old girl got a man, but you still want to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? Or she got a man, and yet you think about having sex with her. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to Satan and the demons, you know what I'm saying? They put thoughts like this in your head. They put certain urges and stuff in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Not in your heart, in your mind, you know, not the heart in your chest, but your heart, your lob, meaning your mind, you know. This Salakia. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha chapter 27 verse 5. It says, the furnace proveth the potter's vessels, so the trial of man is in his reasoning. And how do you reason? With your mind, you know. You know the say you like, you know, if you ever played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you know what I'm saying, you just knew the you know, you knew the cheat codes by heart, you know what I'm saying? And Jake would say that. Jake would say how they know something by heart, but refer to their chest. The thing is that your heart is the only thing, your mind is the only thing that could remember certain stuff, you know, or memorize anything, you know what I'm saying? Memorize them cheat codes, you know. Memorize how to get home from such and such place, or memorize how to get to certain places. You know what I'm saying? You know. So when the scriptures say hard, you got to have discernment. You know, and the scripture says that the Lord is not an author of confusion. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that you got to think about it. Once again, when you think about it, it ain't the muscle in your chest. You know what I'm saying? It's your mind, man. You know? All right. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. It says, but start at verse 1. It says, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not, but have renounced the hidden things of dishonesty. You know what I'm saying? Being dishonest. Where was that happen? Where does that happen? In your mind. Not walking in craftiness. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be actually just go into it. Craftiness. It says cunning, as specious, or a false wisdom, in a good sense, prudence, skill, and undertaking and carrying on affairs. Adroitness, trickery, sophistry, craftiness, subtlety. You know what I'm saying? Like the snake in the garden, how he was trying to be on that sneaky trickery stuff when it came down to Eve, you know, to bring them down. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't want to be deceitful. It says, nor handling the word of the Most High deceitfully. And you know, a lot, you got certain guys, you know, they come into the truth, you know what I'm saying? And they see what the wisdom does to a woman. So what do? They try to come into the truth just so they can spit the knowledge and stuff, so they can look like somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or be that nigga, or be that one that shining and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's doing handling the word of the Most High deceitfully, because the intentions are off, you know. And where the intentions come from, your mind, your lob, your heart, you know. It says, but by manifestation of the truth, commending ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of the Most High. So what is conscience? It says the consciousness of anything. It says in your heart, in your chest, doesn't have a conscience. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's times when you talk to yourself, you know what I'm saying, but you the only one who can hear those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else around. You know, if you think something is suspicious or something is funny, you know what I'm saying? All these happen in your head, in your mind, you know, and this is where your soul and your spirit dwell. You know, it says the soul as distinguishing between what is morally good and bad, prompting to do the former and shun the latter, commending one, condemning the other, you know. And this is reasoning, man. You know what I'm saying? The discerning between what's morally good and what's morally bad, you know. It says perception, that is moral conscience, you know. So like back in that Galatians 5:17. This is the battle. You fighting between good and evil, and all that happens is in your head. You know, even when if something physical happened to you, it still reflects upon your mind. You know, this is Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. It says, "Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart." Right, with all thy heart. Once again, Lob, the law and the ba Lob. It says, "Inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding." You know what I'm saying? Inner part. You know, soul, heart. You know, it says, and lean not onto thy own understanding. You know what I'm saying? You know, and when people tend to lean to their own understanding, it's according to the wicked vibrations of this world. You know what I'm saying? To be impulsive, not to think before you leap. You know what I'm saying? To leap before you think, or leap and then think later. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we got to trust in the Lord and stuff, because he's our ultimate guide. You know what I'm saying? He set up the blueprint to follow his ways, because this is the better and the best choice, you know. But 2/3 of the nation of Israel and stuff, they're going to lean to their own understanding. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that you get if you within a wicked vibration, or you're of this world, you know what I'm saying? More than likely, you know, you're deceiving yourself, you know, because you're not following the true way of light, man. You know, you got Jakes that say, only God can judge me. You know, that's your heart deceiving you, man. You know, that's more like your flesh, because really you don't want to get humbled. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be underneath subjection. You know what I'm saying? You want to follow your own rules that you have made up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of following the right rules that's more prosperous. Verse 10, it says, "I, the Lord, search the heart," right? "I try the reins," you know, "even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings." Scripture also says in Proverbs 20, this is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. It says, "Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way?" You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that the Lord controls everything ultimately, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a scary thing to fall in the hands of the living power, because you don't want to fall on his bad side. You know, you know, so like it. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 24. It says, "But they hearken not, nor incline their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart." And this is 2/3, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to instruction. You know what I'm saying? And the scriptures are not appealing to them. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though they had a zeal, but not according to knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that they don't have the correct understanding of the scriptures, you know. And when they get the correct understanding of the scriptures, there's certain things that are like stumbling blocks for them. You know what I'm saying? Like it says in Jeremiah 6:21, you know, because you got the rape doctrine. You know what I'm saying? You know, the scriptures gives a law just in case it happened. But the thing is, man, the Lord don't tell anyone who's listening to go out there and rape. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out there and do those things. We don't teach that, you know. But people that's walking in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, you know, they're gonna try to call us. They're gonna label us rapists. They're gonna label us terrorists, black extremists. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're gonna label us those things, man. You know, because their imaginations are evil. It says it went backward and not forward. You know. And all this is happening in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Every action that you do. You know what I'm saying? You got the old saying that says, you are what you eat. You know what I'm saying? You are what you take in. You are what you consume. You know what I'm saying? So if you consume evil things, that's how your thought process is going to be. So you can act on those things that you think of, you know? So you know, and that's why it's backwards and not forwards. This is First Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. It says, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outer appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart, And that's talking about your inner being, Where's your inner being in your mind, man? They show you in the cartoons, every now and then, where if you watch Naruto or Bleach or pretty much even any other show, you know what I'm saying, or even My Hero Academy, you know what I'm saying, when they thinking about a strategy and stuff, where's all that conjure up thoughts happening in their mind, man, in their spirit, you know. And that's the inner man, This is Exodus chapter 8, verse 15. It says, "But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said." You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, this is going into the story when Moses was telling Pharaoh that he needed to let the children of Israel go so they can go serve Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. But Pharaoh just kept hardening his heart. You know what I'm saying? The Lord was bringing plagues on him, and the Lord was hardening his heart where he didn't want to let him go, until his firstborn got taken away, And that's the same way with the 2/3. Their hearts are being hardened for what they believe according to this world, Because like it says in Job 9:24, the earth is getting in the hands of the wicked. You take parents, they got children. You know what I'm saying? They say if it's a child on the way as well, you know what I'm saying? You got the parents that they already have a certain set of mind on how they're gonna do things. You know what I'm saying? You get rid of them, and then you got the younger son. You got the son that was already there. And he's still setting his ways according to how his parents taught him. You take rid of him, the newborn baby come, and you give that newborn baby a whole new way of a style than its original. You know what I'm saying? And this is why the 2/3 of Israel are always going to be defeated. You know what I'm saying? Because they got taught a certain mind frame. It was a certain seed that was planted in their minds, a certain thought process where they can't wake up to this truth, And I hope this video was edifying, and I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, which we hope to be. Shalom and above.